What's up, friends? This is Money, and you're seeing Starfield being played at 4K with ultra detail, 60% upscale using DLSS 3, a free mod that you can find down in the description and pinned comment now. However, you're seeing this played on this high-end gaming laptop with a 1490, okay? Now, that's why maybe a desktop would score a few more results, but we're gonna compare the non-DLSS version with the DLSS version in this video. Let me first begin by explaining there's a big controversy going on about this game. AMD has literally paid Bethesda not to include the DLSS 3 feature into the launch of Starfield, to avoid giving Nvidia their win on the performance scale. This is so crazy, you can't make that shit up. You can see that the customer and the player doesn't matter one bit. As long as enough money flows to Bethesda, they're willing to unoptimize the game as much as they want for the Nvidia players. It is so crazy, but this isn't even where the story ends. Now, free modders like Pure Dark here have created a DLSS 3 mod for this game, but now he's putting it behind a paywall on Patreon, only allowing those who pay him to actually play the game using DLSS 3. It's so crazy. Even the modding scene gets the microtransactions now. But of course now, thankfully, other free modders have showed the middle finger to Pure Dark and uploaded their own version of the DLSS 3 mod on Nexus. You find the link down below in the video description and pinned comment. Now, let us compare the game with or without DLSS 3, okay? We're playing the same sequence 3 times with the same graphics settings, except DLSS off at first using FSR2, AMD's version, that is active by default and you're probably also using. Remember, you have 2 black bars probably on the outside of your screen because we're running this laptop's own monitor right now, which has a QHD resolution and 16:10 aspect ratio with 240 Hz. It's a beast monitor, I'm telling you. Yeah, so you see we had like 70 to 80 FPS outside of the ship. We're running inside with 60 to 70, 75 while we're sitting down. 70 while we're sitting down. Okay, we're flying into space. Let's have a look at that as well. Yeah, let's see how this goes. It's crazy how much difference it's gonna make. You're probably gonna be surprised about this, because yeah. Also, in terms of wattage for CPU and GPU, the temperatures are completely different. Well, the CPU reaches about 90 degrees, sometimes even peaks at 100 here, when we're using the default version of the game without DLSS 3. Right now it's running at a cool 80 to 85 degrees, but remember, this laptop is currently running in performance mode. I'm not running turbo mode where I get another 10% performance, but this thing gets really loud. I'm using it in a quieter performance mode where it's relatively relaxed and it just delivers 85 to 90% performance, and it's happy that way, and I'm not hearing any freaking ventilation. But you see 60 FPS is our space frame rate right now, with 85 CPU temp and 80 GPU temp. Even 92 it said on the CPU right there for a second. Now, we're coming into the same gameplay now, using the same settings, but with DLSS 3 running. And you're seeing no more 70 FPS outside. We're running 140 to 150 FPS now. The temperatures are actually colder on both GPU and CPU, which is insane. And also in the ship here, no more 60, 70 or whatever it was. We sat down to the seat here with 60, 70 before. Now we're sitting down at 130 FPS. We're starting up into space, where before we had 60 FPS. And we're peaking at 92 degrees CPU temp, yeah, so the CPU runs more relaxed now because the GPU is taking over much more of the workload with DLSS 3 running, and it's not even really getting hotter, but it does draw a bit more wattage. 155 is pretty much the max that actually I think 175 is the max that it can peak at on this laptop, but you'll see 155 relatively often while gaming. And you see here we're in space now, and we're no longer having 60 FPS. We're running 110, 107, 100, and it goes back to 110, and no 92% peak on the CPU. It's 75, 72. This is on a gaming laptop that runs this performance on an up-to-date game. That's literally cool for a CPU. The CPU is like absolutely freezing cold right now, basically. It's insane. So it is such a big difference and such a much better joy also. Now we're showing this as well because I'm showing this in 4K as well here when we're walking out here in the city district where you also have been when you started the game. And now let's go into 4K. This is using my LG TV and at 4K. So you see up in the upper right it's updated, and we're running even at 4K with much higher frame rate than with that we had before in QHD resolution without DLSS 3. Also here, in the ship we're walking through, we had 60, 70 FPS before. Now we're rocking the same thing in freaking 4K at ultra details, and we're rocking still 30% more frame rate. It is such a massive difference, and the fact that Bethesda let themselves be paid off by AMD not to include such quality of life changes into their games for a whole lot of people using NVIDIA graphics card of the 40X generation. That's just crazy. It is absolutely mind-blowing that something like this is allowed to happen. Something like this, if they can't control themselves, then at least it should be regulated in some way, because the customer should always have the first priority, right? The paying customer. But anyways, we're back here. Even in space, you saw massive FPS. Here in the city, it's high. It is just a dream to play with DLSS 3. Now, in case you're wondering how to get this, again, the links are down below. However, important is also, while I was recording this video, the game got an update, and I found that I updated my graphics driver from NVIDIA to the studio version, and after that, when I loaded the game, it crashed. So I don't know what's going on, if it's because I've updated the graphics driver to studio, or if it's because the game on Steam literally updated while I did this video. And then afterwards doesn't work. But you're not overwriting any files, so you can try it, and if it doesn't work, you just delete all the files again, and you just keep playing how it was before. The link is down below, try it out for yourselves, and tell me if it was only for me, the crash. So yeah, thanks for watching everyone. We're doing, by the way, a big playthrough of Starfield right now, or at least a let's play, let's see. In case you want to watch it, subscribe to the channel, it would be cool to have you. And otherwise, I wish you a good day, and see you around. Bye-bye.